A mysterious gate suddenly opens in Ginza, Tokyo, where fantasy creatures led by men in Roman armor come out from it and attack people. Yoji Itami, a JSDF reservist who was attending a nearby Dojin convention, takes action by organizing the police to evacuate the civilians into a place to protect them before the JSDF arrives to stop the invaders. Due to his actions, Itami is promoted to first lieutenant and celebrated as a national hero. The appearance of the gate and massacre of Japanese civilians, dubbed the Ginza Incident, promotes the incumbent prime minister to take action by proclaiming Japan will send a JSDF task force backed by the US to the special region, the world beyond the gate, to not only explore the new world, but also capture and demand reparations from those responsible for the attack. After 3 months of preparation, the new Prime Minister sends off the JSDF task force to their mission to the special region with Itami as part of the task force. After finally arriving, the task force encounters an army waiting for them and prepares for battle. The army sent by the Empire to deal with the Japanese forces stationed at Alnus Hill, where the gate is located, was obliterated by Japanese fire superiority. Emperor Molt calls for the vassal states to attack them, just to be defeated with huge casualties as well. A move planned in advance by the Emperor to avoid the vassal states taking advantage of the Empire's weakened state. As Emperor Molt decides to delay a possible advance from the JSDF with scorched earth maneuvers, the President of the United States decides to leave the investigation of the special region to the JSDF for a while due to hopes that Japan will fail its venture into the special area, allowing other countries to take control. Itami Yuji is assigned to lead the 3rd Recon Squad, created to survey the nearby cities and points of interest. After passing by the village of Koda, the 3rd Recon Squad finds a massive fire dragon burning the nearby forest and then attacking and destroying the nearby settlement. While looking for survivors, Itami finds an unconscious elf woman inside a well by sheer coincidence. Taking the unconscious elf with them, the 3rd unit return to the village of Koda, and upon learning about the fire dragon, the villagers decide to evacuate as well, assisted by Japanese soldiers, where they are later joined by 2 mages, Lele and her master. Taking heed of the situation, a group of bandits decide to attack the villagers, just to be vanquished by Rory Mercury, an apostle of the dark god Amori. While escorting the refugees, Itami's party rendezvous with Rory, and taking a special interest in Itami, she decides to accompany them as well. However, the fire dragon appears to attack the convoy and the 3rd unit manages to drive it away, after blowing off one of its front legs with Rory's help. After giving a funeral for all the casualties of the battle, the 3rd unit part ways with the villagers, and Itami decides to take the rest of the refugees as well as Rory, the elf woman, and Lele back to Alnus Hill. At a local bar, Pina, Hamilton, Norma, and Gray are discussing what to do while the patrons laugh at a bartender, claiming how the men in green drove away a flame dragon. The woman comes over to refill Hamilton's drink, and though Norma disbelieves they defeated a flame dragon, Hamilton is more believing and gives a coin to the bartender to inquire more. The bartender tells her about the JSDF's helicopters and how they drove the dragon off. Arriving at base, Itami's superior officer is extremely furious at Itami, who brought back refugees to the base without permission because he suddenly had communications issues. Commander Hazama allows it because it will allow the JSDF to learn more about the special region's inhabitants and their culture and politics. Allowed to shelter the refugees, Itami's superior officer places Itami in charge of the refugees, including their food, housing, and more tedious paperwork. As Itami distributes the jobs to the members of his squad, Lieutenant Yanagita calls Itami to talk to him about the importance of the special region. Yanagita then explains how Itami is currently the closest person to the special region's inhabitants. During this time, the refugees are marveling at the foreign construction equipment and housing of the JSDF. Lele quickly realizes the importance of learning Japanese and is keen at quickly picking up their language and culture. Meanwhile, in China, President Decho Dong is getting increasingly more infuriated at the special region and ideally would like to move half of the population of China to the special region. The base in the special region has finally established a bath, and all the heroines take a bath together and converse on all the new things they have seen today and try to establish each other's backgrounds in bath taking. Elsewhere in the special region, Pina learns that Duran survived the Battle of Alnus Hill and explains to Princess Pina the sheer power of the JSDF. He refuses to divulge how strong they are, telling her to go see the hill for herself. She tells Norma to move the main unit, which Hamilton interprets as a suicidal charge if the stories were true. Pina tells her she doesn't intend to do that and that they visit Alnus regardless. Gray informs her that they will be stopping by Italica as they journey to Alnus. Tuca believes that they will have to sell themselves to the JSDF to make ends meet, though Lele arrives and takes her and Rory to the battlefield, where there are plenty of winged dragon corpses. Lele tells them that the JSDF apparently aren't interested in the scales, and as they fetch a high price, they won't need to sell themselves. The heroines gather 2 bags worth of scales and ask Itami to drive them to Italica, which he agrees to. As the 3rd Recon team travels to Italica, the Recon team notices a smoke plume that's coming from the city. They enter a battle mode as they slowly progress towards Italica. Meanwhile, in Italica, the city is under siege by remnants of the Allied army, who have turned to banditry. They attack the southern gate, though they realize that they can't break through and retreat. Princess Pina, who was commanding the defense forces, feels relieved for the time being and retires to the mansion in the city. On her way there, she gathers her fellow knight, Hamilton. In the mansion, the clan formal servants take care of Pina as she rests after the gruesome battle. Before she goes to sleep, she asks the Countess to throw water on her in case there is trouble again. In Pina's dream, she remembers how she started her Order of Knights. As a little kid, Pina was determined to start an Order of Knights and trained her friends from a young age. Gray Aldo, a knight, was assigned to protect and train Pina in her small order, which was treated like a joke by many royals. Hamilton is seen as a clumsy person, especially since she tripped as she tried to figure out how to march. Although Gray admits that he does not really like the job, he understands that because of his birth family, he can only move up the military ranks by training Pina. After 7 years of hard training, Pina's order becomes a legitimate group as the Rose Knight Order, although they are more of an honor guard. Pina presents this fact that the group is only an honor guard and thirsts for real combat. Soon after the failed defense of the gate, she gets her chance. Pina is splashed awake by the Countess as there seems to be some unknown vehicles outside the walls of Italica. As she assesses the nature of the group that approaches the gate, she quickly realizes that if an Emroy was on the bandits' side, Italica would have been captured. Therefore, she concludes that they may be neutral and the best way to get them on her side would be to befriend them. In her rush to open the gate, she fails to notice Itami standing on the other side and smacks him unconscious with the door. The 3 heroines wake Itami up inside the walls, at the same time berate the princess for hitting Itami in the face. As Itami wakes up from his slumber, he's greeted by the sight of Rory looking at him and the Kuwahara shouting over the radio if he was safe. After this, the princess, as a gesture of kindness, shows them around the mansion and explains the social-economical history of the city. After conveying his urge to defend the city, Princess Pina assigns 3rd Recon to defend the south gate, which was heavily damaged by the enemy assault. 3rd Recon sets up in the southern gate. Itami struggles to put the NVG on his helmet, so Rory helps him out. Rory asks Itami why he's defending an enemy city, to which Itami replies that the JSDF wants to befriend the people of the special region, and show Pina that she should negotiate with them rather than fight a pointless war. Itami knows that Pina has placed them in a bad position, but does not seem to mind. Rory is content with the fact that she can go crazy again, and that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you in the next one.